not in that space mentally.
But
And then,
I
like
was
I said,
along with you in that first trip, remembering where you used my laptop to record your reaction video to finding out that you were diagnosed with breast cancer.
so when they laid me on my side and they're doing the ultrasound, I had a clear view right there of the ultrasound. If I was a spiteful person or whatever with the things that my mother is going through now, I would have done the same thing to her.
This,
Yeah.
do you resent your mom?
I say this is the best interview ever, even though you made me cry.
Okay.
Could be so good to you. I could be so good to you. I could be so good to you. I could be so good to you.
I was tired. I was tired and I just cried that whole day.
Yeah.
And I was like, this. Like, I was over it. I literally was over. I had just gotten the book boxes out of my house. The book came out. It did well financially, critically, and all of that stuff. But that was like the last kick in the stomach for me. And then literally a few weeks later, I found a lump in my breast and found out I had breast cancer. And so that, on top of everything, changed the trajectory of my life, period.
Yeah.
And so just dealing with that mentally and all of my family issues and stuff that I had going on, I just needed a moment away. And the moment has ended up being 3 years later, and I still haven't written anything. Do I miss writing? Yes, I do. I think about it literally every day, but it's gotten to the point now where it used to be writing was my main source of income and YouTube was my part-time job.
Yeah.
But I made the conscious decision that I was going to focus solely on YouTube because I really wanted to grow my YouTube to the point where I'm making six figures. Because I was making six figures in my books, and I was like, okay, I want to get this over here to six figures. And so that started in 2023. 2023, I want to say. And I made, no, 2022. That's a lie. And I really wanted to focus on this channel and really getting it where I wanted it to be and testing myself. And I did it the first year. I made six figures. And I was so proud of myself. And I put in a lot of work with my channel over the last couple of years to get it to where I am finally, almost after. I've been doing YouTube since 2013, and I'm just not almost a few thousand away from 100,000 views. And I mean, it's to 100,000 subscribers because of all of the dedication and the work that I've put in over the last few years. And so now it's to the point where YouTube is my main source of income, and it's hard for me to go back to writing because I don't have the time now. Mm-hmm. So that's where I'm literally at with why I don't write right now, is because of time. And for me, I have to be in the mind frame to write. I just can't sit down and just do it. I have to set my mind and, all of that to be in that space. And I'm not in that space mentally. And then, like I said, it's hard to get back there because of time. I'm trying to figure out a way to do it, but I haven't been successful at it yet. But hopefully, prayerfully, I can get back. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you brought up YouTube. That is our next order of business. How has being a YouTuber changed your life? Because you've done different things on your channel, from fashion reviews, reality TV reviews. You be doing vlogging here and there, not really, but here and there. You've done panels. You've had me on your channel. You done did everything. So how has YouTube changed your life?
It's changed my life tremendously because people get to see my personality versus where they saw my personality through my books. They saw bits and pieces of me throughout my characters and stuff like that. But now people get the opportunity to know me and meet me as a person. And YouTube has offered so many opportunities for me right off the bat with the whole Brandy situation. I was only 4 months in before I had my first big viral moment. And since then, throughout the years, I've had these great moments where I've been, blessed with opportunities or celebrity encounters or whatever the case may be. So yeah, it's changed my life for the better. It's fun. It's fun. It really honestly is. And it's a great creative outlet for me.
What's your favorite thing of all the type of content you put on your channel? What's your favorite?
I would say my favorite has been, and it's gonna probably surprise a lot of people. My favorite thing that I've done on this on my YouTube channel was my Single Moms Meet series.
Single Moms Meet. Yes, remember Single Moms Meet.
And I was thinking about it. I was like, I'm gonna put those out because a lot of my new people or whatever, they don't know about Singles Mom Meets. They probably ain't even looked at that playlist. But it was literally
I didn't even know she was gonna say that, and the song immediately
like it was literally an idea that was birthed out of me and my good friend Jen. We came home from eating sushi and I came up with the idea, and literally we just sat there and I said, I'm gonna create a series of people trying to date on this dating app or whatever. And I came up with my character. She was so ghetto. And I did multiple characters, but literally I just got my friends together and we all just played characters. And it was just so fun. Like I really would love to turn that into a television series because it was so much fun and it was so funny and organic. And that's the type of stuff that I love. And then when I did Forever 21, my first film was Forever 21. Like that's been the stuff that I'm most proud of and that I had the most fun doing.
Okay. Well, we're gonna get into your business. All right. You have had some moments where you talked about almost feeling like you was going to lose your career, but you've had some moments where it was like, am I about to lose my life? From that wasn't supposed to be funny. Some health challenges. Okay. And the first time I was not around, but the second time, Keisha invited me to her birthday vacation a few years back. Now, I want y'all to be clear. I was invited to this year's vacation. There's no problems going on here. But I want y'all to note that her birthday trips have been downhill since I was at okay? Downhill, okay? It's because I wasn't there. But
talk about it.
Okay. But I was along with you in that first trip, remembering where you used my laptop to record your reaction video to finding out that you were diagnosed with breast cancer. And I was with you along that journey. Take us through that. I use humor to talk about it. I'll be talking about how you traded in your Aretha Franklin for your Megan Goods. But in all seriousness, how did you find out? How long? Tell us about your battle with breast cancer.
It was towards the end of July of 2021. And I literally was in the bathroom one morning, and mind you, this is of course before I had my breast reduction surgery, but my breasts were 44H. And so without a bra on, my boobs would be like all the way down to my navel. And so I just so happened that my arm brushed up against the left side of my breast and I felt like a knot. And I remember pausing, and I was like, no, no. I was like, no. I was like, Lord, no, this is not happening. Nope, no, no. And I did a self check standing up, and I didn't feel it anymore. So I was like, maybe I'm just tripping. Like, maybe I was like, okay, I don't feel nothing. It was literally a week later, I felt it again. And I said, no. I was like, I gotta. And this time I went and laid on my back, because the best way to do a self check isn't by standing up, it's by laying back and lifting your arm. And when I laid back on my bed and I lifted my arm and I checked my breast, I felt it. And so my tumor was literally on the surface. It was literally right under my skin, where most people it'd be somewhere, in their breast or whatever. When I was literally right there on the surface. And so I immediately made an appointment at the clinic that I go to. And they immediately saw me. They got me in there like, I want to say like 2 days later. Everything happened like this.
It did.
And I went, and it was a new doctor there, not my regular OB or whatever, gynecologist or whatever. She was a new person, and she checked my breast, and she was like, yeah, I do feel it. And she was like, but it's probably benign, nothing to worry about, but we're just going to get more tests done just to make sure. And so she booked me an appointment to go see who is my breast doctor now, Dr. Schnepp, over here at St. Mary's. And I got that appointment, like I want to say it was maybe like a week later, not even that. Went to that appointment, and they did the mammogram. They did a mammogram, and they saw the tumor or whatever. And then they were like, okay, they had me go in another room, and they had me lay on my side, and the ultrasound screen was right there. And so the girl was doing the ultrasound. Now, mind you, because like I said, I'm a researcher. So during that time, before I even had the appointment, I had looked at YouTube videos. I'm reading articles.
Y'all, the research this lady was doing, I was trying to get her to stop, but she wouldn't.
No,
she
but I'm glad that I did, because
Yeah.
you need to know a lot of stuff and be prepared. I'm not one of them people that don't like to be prepared. I like to know what I'm doing, and I'm happy that I did do all the research, because it helped me later on.
Yeah.
But I learned even before my mammogram and the ultrasound that if the tumor is like lumpy shape, like in a cloud shape, then 9 times that means that it's cancerous. So when they laid me on my side and they're doing the ultrasound, I had a clear view right there of the ultrasound, and I saw that it was abnormally shaped. So I already knew the diagnosis. I just needed confirmation. So when she got done, I said, do I have cancer? And she was like, well, just wait for the doctor to come in or whatever, for you to talk to the doctor. She wouldn't give me a straight answer, but she said, we do need to do more testing. And I tried to hold it in. I tried it so hard to hold it in. My brother had went with me, and she was like, okay, we're going to sit you out here, and we're going to set up the appointments for you to do, what is it called? Not an MRI. Not the MRI. It's when they had to go and take some of the tissue out of the tumor. Yeah, the biopsy. So I had to wait in the chair to go and set up the appointment for the biopsy. And I started crying. And I asked, can my brother come back? And so he came back, and he was like, what's wrong? I said, I got cancer. He was like, now, wait a minute. You don't know that. I said, Keon, I got cancer. I know I do. I got cancer. I know it. So I set up the appointment, and we drove home, and I just remember crying the whole way home, and got home, and Kyrese and my little cousin had literally were taking out the last of the book boxes to the car, and he already knew what the doctor's appointment was about. So he was concerned. And so everybody was outside waiting on him so they could go to the mail, to the post office to drop off the last of the book boxes. And so he came in a room with me and he said, "What they say?" And I said, "I'm pretty sure I have cancer." And that was when I broke down crying.
Yeah.
And Kyrese just hugged me and he started crying. And Kyrese is not a crier at all. So that what really fucked me up. And he said, we were just hugging. He was like, "Mom, we're going to get through this. Everything's going to be all right." And I said, "Yeah, it is." And literally, he went with me to get my biopsy done. Got the biopsy done. Anybody out there, they literally had me lay on my side. They stick this long needle into your breast and they take it. It's like a clicking sound, like when you get your ears pierced. And so it's like, and they're literally taking out samples of the tumor to test it under a microscope or whatever. After they get done doing it, a nurse comes over with, the gauze or whatever and presses down on your breast to stop the bleeding. They literally stand there and do that for a solid 10 minutes. And then they take you up and they send you on your way. So they were like, you'll get your test results back in a few days. It literally took, I want to say, about 3 or 4 days for me to get my results. And thank God my cousin Tavia, who works in the medical field, she had already put me with a girl that she knows that literally worked in oncology, and she herself was going through breast cancer. And so she had linked me with her, and she was like, "If you need any type of advice or anything like that, don't hesitate to call me." So she had already hit me with a lot of game and everything. And so what was supposed to happen was the doctor was supposed to call me with the results, but they have you under my chart. The test results came back to me first before I even talked to my doctor. And like I said, I had already did all the research, so I knew what the terms were. And so when I opened it up and it said, what was it called? It's not cancer. It started with a C. I can't think of it right now, but that's the word to basically say that you do have breast cancer and what type of cancer I had. And so it was just confirmation. I didn't even cry. I don't remember crying. I just remember telling Kyrese. And the best part about it was, for me, is that it was only stage 1. So that was a big, because if it was in there, I would have been on the floor, child. But after that, it was just go time. I didn't cry no more after that. The only time, the next time that I cried was the day of my surgery. But after that, it was just like, all right, game time. It's time to go now. But yeah, that's that.
So when it comes to your cancer journey, I don't like saying your cancer journey, because I don't like claiming it. It happened to you, but I don't want to keep saying her cancer. When it came to the cancer journey, what did that journey teach you about life?
I don't know if my viewers or whatever know, but prior to the cancer situation, I had a very big fear of death, to the point where I had to talk to Sheridan about it, her father about it. I sought therapy for a year to help deal with this fear of death. Like, it was consuming me. I would think about dying every day prior to me finding out I had breast cancer. So then when I got diagnosed, and it was during that 2-week stage of not knowing for sure with the stamp of approval that I had cancer and what stage, during that 2-week period was the absolute scariest time of my life. And I just remember laying in the bed crying and just begging God not to take me. And it wasn't for me. I literally was saying, Lord, I can't go because Kyrese needs me. I'm not done. Even though he was in his 20s, he still needs me. I was like, I'm not done with him yet. He still needs me. And I know if I go, he won't make it. we've already had those conversations. You know what I'm saying? Like, he literally had said out of his own, I don't know what I would do with it. Like, I wouldn't, like, no. So I just knew, like, I was like, Lord, no, you cannot take me. It is not time. But being faced with death, I wasn't scared to go no more. Like, if it had, I was already like, I was like, if it has to happen, I'm gonna go out like a motherfucking champ. That was my mind frame. Like, I'm gonna do everything I want to do. Like, I was already picturing it in my head, like, all right, Lord. But I was begging him at the same time not to take me. But at the same time, I was like, this what you've been fearing this whole time?
Yeah.
Like, the only thing that's gonna happen is you're gonna close your eyes, or you're gonna just stop breathing. Like, it's gonna happen so fast, but you ain't gonna even know what happened. Like, what? And so that literally was the biggest thing that I took for it, was to not be scared, not to be afraid of death anymore, and to appreciate every single moment that I have. And that's why I get mad at people, because I be like, y'all have no idea. No idea. I don't get mad over a lot of stuff. I let a lot of shit go because I know the bigger reason for life, and it don't be stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? Relationships or even family shit. And Sheridan know all the family shit that I've been through. The shit that I've gone through with my family would break a lot of people, but I keep on going because even that to me is minute. I don't even let that consume me to that point. I just am thankful to God that I'm still here and that I'm breathing and that he's still blessing me every day. Like, I literally, I don't even think there's been a day since that I don't wake up and just sit sometimes or just look around or just whatever and just be like, thank you, Lord. Thank you. Just thank you.
Yeah.
Because it could have been worse. It could have been worse. And even with that being said, because that was the darkest and the hardest time of my life, and I'm going to talk about this. I've never really talked about it before. I might have a little bit, but my mother wasn't there for me during my cancer journey.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have been able to pay me $1 million to say that if something like that happened to me, that my own mama wouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
And it hurt me, but I still pressed forward because I had Sheridan and my other best friends and my father and Kyrese or whatever right there, and Mr. Davis praying for me and all of that stuff. But to not have my mother there for me, it hurt, but I didn't let it hurt me to the point where it I can't even talk. Debilitated me.
Mm-hmm.
And if I was a spiteful person or whatever with the things that my mother is going through now, I would have done the same thing to her.
Yeah.
But I'm literally doing the opposite and am her number one supporter in everything. You know what I'm saying? I literally take care of her when she wasn't there to take care of me. And a lot of people would have been like, fuck her, never talk to her again.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't do that because I know it's not right. I know it's not right. And I love her regardless. I love her regardless. No matter what she says, what she does, and no matter what we go through and how many times I just want to be like, fuck her. I love that lady and I've learned so much from her. And being a mother myself now, I know that she's only doing what she was taught.
So let me ask you this. Do you resent your mom?
Yes and no. Yes and no. He got me on her crying like I'm Oprah. Yeah, yes and no. Like I said, I resent her for some of the things that I've gone through because of her, but then again, I thank her for those things because it's made me the strong person that I am.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm the youngest and I'm the strongest one out of my siblings. My brother is the oldest. I have a half sister, whatever. But I'm just gonna talk about me and Keon.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember this was in my 20s. And I remember saying to my mother back then, I said, because I voiced it to her then. I was like, you treat me and him differently. And it used to piss me off and it hurt me back then. Because I was like, it was a blatant thing where I saw that I was treated differently than him. And I finally asked her one day, and her answer pissed me off and it hurt me then, but I get it now.
Mm-hmm.
She said, because you're stronger than him.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what the fuck you mean I'm stronger? What the fuck that mean?
Yeah.
Like, the fuck, huh? Like, treat me and love on me like you do him. Because it was always, she was harder on me than him. And me and my brother just got close with each other like over the last 6-7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that, we didn't have a close relationship because of the way that we were raised. But the closer that me and my brother have gotten over these last 6-7 years, I've learned so much about him and vice versa. And now I see what my mom was saying.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because he was coddled where I wasn't. I had to get it out the mud. I had to teach myself how to do stuff. I had to be self-sufficient. And I'm grateful for that because look at how far I've come with what little that I had.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I know how it feels to be down low, and I know the highest of highs. And I know how to grind either way. I'm going to always be straight because I'm going to always know how to get to it, no matter what. And no shade to my brother, but he doesn't have that in him. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to instill that into Kyrese, because he kind of turned into a mini Kim. Being coddled and spoiled and loved on. And sometimes I get on myself for that, but at the same time, I wanted him to have the opportunities and the leisure that I didn't.
Yeah.
And so it's like a hindrance almost, but then it's almost a blessing. You know what I'm saying? That he hasn't had to do the things that I had to do and work as hard as I have had to work. And he still has a good work ethic, and he's still a good person.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So I want to insert myself here. So I feel like God always knows what he's doing. I was not seeking to be friends with you or anyone.
You want to be my friend.
I ain't saying it like that. That did sound crazy. I'm not saying it like that.
No, I know how you meant, girl.
But I'm saying it that God will give me messages to give to you, different scriptures to send to you, and things of that nature. And I think God knew I know God knew what he was doing because he knew what was ahead. And for you, he gave our family, our church family to you in this time where we didn't know that the cancer was around the corner. We didn't know that. And we were able to, for some people, when they have friends who are dealing with something that heavy, they're tragic, they break down, they have those moments. I couldn't even afford to do that. My prayer the whole time was, Lord, strengthen me so I can be strength for her. And whether that meant hooking you up with Sister Janice, rest in peace to her, who told you her story and like was telling you ain't got to worry about this, but you got to look at that, whatever. And then my dad was coming through and giving you words from God in that time as well. How did your spiritual journey like change in that era? How did it take place, and what was like me and my family being coming around in that time? What was that like for you?
It was safety for me.
Mm,
Yeah, safety.
wow.
I felt safe with you and your father.
Mm-hmm.
There was no judgment. It was only words of encouragement and also, hey, look at it this way or check yourself. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yep.
You know me. I don't trust people like that. I'm not that, hey, this is my new friend. No, it's not
Right.
me. So I'm very cautious with the people that I bring around me. Um, but I've never had to worry about you or your family or anything like that. Like it's been nothing but like an extension of my own family.
Mm-hmm.
And the spiritual journey, though, for me, it started before even the
Yeah.
cancer journey with you being my quote unquote pastor. And us having different conversations about God and the Bible, and you teaching me certain things, and us having conversations. And then I just think with the cancer situation that it just elevated even more.
Yeah.
That on the day of my surgery, I spoke to your father. He prayed over me. You prayed over me. I didn't talk to nobody else that morning. You
Wow.
know,
I didn't know that. Wow.
I didn't talk to like Losha or Monique or none of that type of stuff. It was you and your father, Kyrese,
Mm-hmm.
and my daddy.
Mm.
I don't think I talked to nobody because everybody was at work. But after the fact, like my cousins and them and everybody was there afterwards. But yeah, no. But I just think because even today I'm not gonna ever sit up here in front like I read the Bible and because I don't. Um I haven't even been watching my sermons and stuff like I need to. I did fall off. God knows that. But one thing that I do know is that there ain't a out there in this world that can't tell me that God ain't real.
Facts.
And so, not to say that I get away from not listening to the word or reading the word, but after the cancer situation, it there's no doubt, no question for me.
Yeah.
Anything that I might have doubted or questioned before, no. I know for certain that there is a God and that there is more to life after this physical realm.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest with you, I'm not afraid of it no more. I can't wait to see my grandmother again.
Mm.
I cannot wait to see, and I'm talking about my mother's mother, my
Mm-hmm.
died in front of me. I can't wait to see her again because I know that she is literally my angel,
Yeah.
my guardian angel. Like I feel her with me, her guidance. Let me tell you something. I started to realize, and my relationship with God really started coming into play when I was in high school and when I started skipping school and doing all the fun I was out here doing or whatever, dating drug dealers, stealing, and doing all types of shit. My grandmother would come to me in my dreams, Sheridan, and I would have nightmares about her for a year up until I
Mm-hmm.
got pregnant with Kyrese. It stopped when I got pregnant with Kyrese, but for a year, I had nothing but nightmares about my grandmother. Sometimes she would be killing me in the dreams. It would just be
Wow.
horrific. Yeah. And I couldn't for the life of me understand why I was having these kind of dreams about her. And it wasn't until I got pregnant with Kyrese and my life started to change. And I know for a fact that that was her way of getting on me for living the way
Mm-hmm.
that I was living because it stopped immediately when I got pregnant with Kyrese. I still have dreams about my grandmother to this day. And how I know it's her and it's just not a dream. She's only spoken to me one time in my dreams.
Mm-hmm.
In my dreams, she's either doing something around her house or she's just sitting in her favorite chair and she's not talking. She's just a viewer and watching. And that's how I know it's her. And it's not just, just a dream or whatever. But yeah, she was getting on my ass for living the type of way that I was living.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I just got a few more questions and we're going to get up out of here. And
Okay.
thank you again for doing this.
Best
One of
interview
the,
ever. I gotta say, even though you made me cry ever.
wait, what was the last? Wait, what'd you say?
I said it's the best interview ever, even though you made me cry.
Okay, so one of the shoes, Lord, one of the shows. You see, I'm talking like who I'm about to talk about by accident. One of the shows that you review is Braxton Family Values.
Oh Lord, where we going with
Trina Shoes host was previously on Iyanla Fix My Life. With her then husband or then husband Gabe. And Iyanla said to her, your mother taught you to be bitter, and your mother taught you to be mean. I want to ask you, Keisha, if I could ask you, what did your mother teach you about love? And then what are you teaching your son?
Which form of love? Just love in general, or loving a man, loving friends, loving yourself? What?
That's a good question. Let's do, we can do love in general and then relationship love.
Nothing and nothing. Like I said earlier, we didn't have those types of conversations. The only thing that I can say as far as how my mother showed me or taught me anything when it comes to love, one thing that I did take away from her that I continued with Kyrese and still do to this day is saying, I love you at night before we go to bed. We still say that to each other. Okay. Or we're separating from each other or going somewhere, we still say we love each other. And I think that my mother showed me love with the things that I learned from her. So I won't say nothing. I think it's the things that I learned from her and that I took away from her. Like I said, a lot of the closeness was when I was little. So my love of black and white films, my mother, my love of reading, my mother, my love of fashion and hair, my mama. I wanted to look like her. My mother was beautiful, beautiful. My mama was the mama when me and Keon had to bring her to school for anything. That's your mama pretty like that. Like men would stop her, try to holler at her. Women, oh my God, who did your hair? My mother taught herself how to do sew-ins. My mama was wearing weave when weave wasn't even popular. It used to be embarrassing to me when people be like, oh my God, your hair look good. Who did it? My mom would be like, I did, girl, it's a weave. And now you like, oh, will you stop? So those things, like my love of home decor from my mother and my grandmother. Now, when it comes to who taught me love was my grandmother.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my.
What of that are you passing down to your son?
I want to say, see, it's different because I made sure that I did everything that I wanted and didn't get from my parents with Kyrese. And that is the openness, like I said, to come to me and talk to me about anything and me to be comfortable and talk to him about anything. I don't sugarcoat nothing with him. I'm very open and honest. He knows everything about my life. Like we talk like how me and you talk. You know what I'm saying? He's literally my best friend. Y'all my best friends, but that right there, y'all all know. Don't nothing get me but Kyrese.
Yeah.
Like that is my end all be all. I would not be where I am at if I didn't have him to be the thing that pushed me for greatness. And I think that I've shown him love or showed him how to love by loving yourself. And that's one thing that we're still working on to this day. You
Mhm.
know, the confidence and the loving yourself and how to value yourself. One thing that I will say about Kyrese is that he values himself. He has great morals. And once again, that he is a good person. The best compliment that I've ever received as a mother is people that would meet me and be like, "That's your son." And I'd be like, "Yeah, he is so well mannered and
Yep.
just so polite and just so nice. You have done a great job." That's my biggest accomplishment in life. Not none of this other shit is raising a good, strong, loving, caring black man that ain't trying to be tough, that ain't a nigga, like,
Yeah.
he's the total opposite of me and his father.
I'm weak.
So yeah.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Well, I have two questions and we are done. You talked about no longer being afraid of death, which I love that for you. We pray for that, so I love that for you. I love not that we want you to go anytime soon, but just not having that constant dark cloud. But one day when you do close your eyes, which we are praying that is a long way off. I ain't got time for that, child. When you do close your eyes, what do you want your legacy to be? Like when you have completed your work here and you go home to be with the Lord and with your grandmother, what would you want the tombstone to say?
Only one thing?
You can say whatever you want.
Oh, okay. That I was a good person, that I was a hard worker, that I dared to dream, I defied the odds, and that I was a good mother.
Amen. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, my last question that I ask everyone who comes on my podcast is if you could give me one piece of advice about love and marriage, what would that piece of advice be? Why don't you just look like
not one, two things.
Okay.
Marry somebody that loves you more than you love him, and to always have your own.
Period. I love it. Well, you guys, thank y'all for watching. This has been part 1 and 2 of the Keisha Ervin story, okay?
Best ever. Beat that, Carlos King.
You know what? What's crazy is y'all both gave me the same piece of advice about love somebody, get somebody who loves you more than you love them. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
There you go.
Yes. Well, thank you all so much for watching. Make sure y'all subscribe to Keisha's channel. All her socials will be in the description box below. I love you guys. And until next time, this is your good girl living a rich life. Bye.
Period. Bye.